Okay, children of God, welcome to the second part of this Sabbath lesson, and this is going to be on contraception. If you've not seen the first part, please go and see the first part of this video on our YouTube channel, and it was an abortion. It's very important that you see that. For this one, we're going to talk about contraception. Brothers and sisters, I was shocked to see how prevalent this contraception was when I actually started doing the research on that. It turns out that taking drugs so that they don't get pregnant is not just for women who are not even married and are engaging in sexual activities, but it's mostly done among women that are married, and it's what they called family planning. And in fact, while I was conducting the research, I actually went to the clinic that we use and asked them if they give medication for family planning, and they showed me some medication, and they said that's what they give to women that don't want to get pregnant. If they're on the pill, they won't get pregnant, and when they want to start having baby, they just stop the pill. First of all, that pill you're seeing is not just an innocuous thing. It's not just there for nothing. Why will any woman take something that will make her infertile? Why will any woman do that? Think about that. Just think about it. You take a drug and it will make you infertile. Why will any woman do that? Brothers and sisters, ask yourself that question. And this drug you're seeing that people take, both those who are married and those who are not married, later on I'll tell you about the dangers of this drug and how this drug is actually satanic. It was actually taught by the fallen angels. I'll show you this drug, this pill you're seeing. I'll show it to you in the scriptures. It's right there, written in the scriptures. But the fact that it makes a woman infertile, even if it's temporary, the research I did shows that it is not just temporary. It can lead to permanent changes in the woman. For you see women that are normal, are very fertile and everything, when they start taking these pills, before you know it, their menstrual cycle change. Of course, like every other medical thing, it doesn't happen to everybody, but it does happen to a significant number of women. Their menstrual cycle will change, and it can lead to permanent infertility. Assistance, it can lead to that. The research has shown that conclusively. Another thing is this: that medication you take, that drug you take to make you infertile temporarily, it can affect your children when you start having children. It affects their fertility. In fact, our sisters should know that any drug they are taking has side effects, be it Panadol or paracetamol. Those drugs have side effects, and some of these drugs that makes you infertile, they can affect the fertility of your children in the future. Number two, these contraceptive drugs are leading causes of cancer in women, including ovarian cancer and cervical cancer. My sisters, there's a book I want to recommend for you. The book was written by one very smart lady called Mary Eberstadt. Mary Eberstadt. She's of course from the United States. She wrote the book called Adam and Eve After the Pill. I read that book while I was conducting this research, and I was shocked. The records that prove that this drug, this contraceptive that we are taking, causes so much problem for women, those records are being suppressed, and fake scientific studies can just show up tomorrow and say that, oh, those drugs are not normal, they are useful, but at the end of the day, those drugs are actually very dangerous. And I do know that a number of people will not read that book, because I know most people don't like reading all this. But this book written by this woman explained the dangers of this pill. Why will women take drugs that will make them infertile? Why? Okay, like I mentioned, this is actually in the scriptures. This thing you're seeing today did not start last week. Scientists did not just go to their lab and invented this. This has been done From the time of Adam, from when Adam was alive, men have been doing this, men and women. Let me go to the scripture and show you that, my sisters. Okay, children of God, we're going to read the book of Joshua. In the book of Joshua, I know some of you have not heard of the book of Joshua, but if you read 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 18, and if you read the book of Joshua chapter 10, you will see it make mention of the book of Joshua right there. So the book of Joshua is a book that the ancient Hebrews were reading, and those of us who are modern Hebrews, who are Igbos practicing Hebrewism, which is the religion of our ancestors, we are supposed to be reading those books as well. Now, if you go to the book of Joshua in chapter 2, if we read from verse 19, book of Joshua chapter 2 verse 19, it says, "For in those days the sons of men began to trespass against God, and to go contrary to the commandment which he had given Adam, to be prolific and reproduce on the earth." First of all, the Most High told Adam to be prolific and reproduce, give birth in the world. And then the sons of men started to going contrary to it. That's the command that God gave Adam. You see, I know that people are telling you that the world is so overpopulated. We are 20 billion, 5 billion, 7 billion. They keep churning out numbers. Don't believe those things. Those are all lies. For instance, the population of Nigeria, if you ask anybody today, they will tell you Nigeria is 170 million people, 180 million people. And on Wikipedia, it says that Nigeria is about 177 million people. That is a big lie. Nigeria is nowhere near 70 million people. It turns out that some people were counting their goats and chicken and cow in the census that they conducted in Nigeria. All these things are from computer simulated models. The computer simulated models, they are done by the United Nations, which I saw their documents in 2009. They assume that the average birth rate of every woman in Nigeria is about 7 or 8 children per woman. And from there, they forecasted the population, which is totally ridiculous. The world is nowhere near what the number of people that they are claiming we are. The world is not overpopulated. Even at that, the resources in this world will go around everybody. It will be enough for everybody. What we are seeing in the world is just greed, nothing else. So let's continue with the scriptures. The book of Joshua chapter 2 verse 19. Now verse 20 said, "Some of the sons of men caused their wives to drink a mixture that will render them unable to conceive, in order that they might retain their figures and their beautiful appearance might not fade." Brothers and sisters, do you see that? This was as at the time of Adam. Adam was still alive when this was going on. They have a mixture that the fallen angels gave them, and they would drink it, and the women will not conceive, to retain their figure, to retain their so-called figure. In verse 21, it says, "And when the sons of men caused some of their wives to drink, Zillah drank with them. The childbearing women appeared abominable in the sight of their husband, and they treated them as widows, while their husbands lived with those unable to conceive, and to those women they were attached. And in the end of the days and years, when Zillah became old, the Lord opened her womb." You see, so this practice of people seeing women that don't have children as attractive is not today that it started. And as a result, women were now being given portions, mixtures to drink that will make them infertile, so that they will retain their shape. My sisters, when you're getting old, is it shape that will take care of you? When you need love in your life, that your children are supposed to give you love and consolation, is it your figure or your shape that will take care of you? This deception has been going on in the world for thousands of years. It didn't just start today. Scientists can come up with any drug in any kind of form they come up with, but it has been happening for thousands of years. If you don't read the scripture, you will think, oh, it's a new thing, that Abraham did not face it, Sarah did not face it. No! Abraham and Sarah went through this and they rejected it, and they had children. Your grandparents went through this and they rejected it and they had children. My sisters, this I don't like giving problems without giving solution. What is the solution to this contraceptive? First of all, if you're taking medication so that you don't get pregnant, it shows that you are irresponsible. Why does it show that you're irresponsible? It shows that you don't know your fertility period. There are times, it is only about 1 week in a month that a woman is supposed to be fertile. You can have sex with your husband any other time, and in those weeks you don't have sex with your husband, or you don't let your husband impregnate you at that time of the week. So my sisters, what you need to do is to bring out a sheet of paper or an Excel spreadsheet and take a record of your menstrual period whenever they occur. Not only your menstrual period, your ovulation period. Whenever they occur, you write it down. And before you know it, you will begin to understand yourself, understand your cycle, and understand your fertility period. And you don't need any medication to keep yourself from getting pregnant. You don't need that, because those medications are actually dangerous. Not only will they can make you permanently infertile, but they can also affect your children. Even if you become fertile again and have children, they can affect the fertility of your children. Those drugs are dangerous. So that's why when we see these things and we do the research, we think it's important that this video be passed around to our sisters out there. Any Igbo girl should be aware of this, because people are taking these things without understanding the studies that go into it, without understanding that the people who are circulating these things actually have no interest in them. Who are those that are bringing this better life or family planning thing? You see, it comes from an organization in the United States that is called Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is an organization that was formed by a woman called Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger is a woman that has been quoted to say that eventually we will wipe out the whole black population. We will convince the Negro to exterminate himself. This is what the woman said, that eventually from what they are doing, they will convince black people to wipe themselves out. And one of the means they are doing this is by giving you this concoction to drink so that you become infertile. Our sisters, they hold the key to our future. The survival of our generation, the survival of our race depends on our sisters. And this video is so important, not only to our sisters but to our brothers as well. You shouldn't let your wives or your sisters or anyone in your life take this kind of medication. You should educate them. Let them be aware that these things are dangerous. Let them know their fertility period. Let them understand their body, because it's by understanding your body and how your body works, that's how you can teach your children tomorrow. So my sisters, do not fall to this evil organization that is hell-bent on wiping our people out. Do not listen to their propaganda. They have unlimited amount of money. They can go to anywhere, bring you they can influence presidents and give you all kinds of information as if it's truth. Please do not listen to them. Please protect yourself. Our mothers, there was no pills, and they were able to understand their body and not give birth. If our mothers were so fertile, they could have given birth to 1 million children if they wanted to, but they didn't do that because they understood their body. They know when they were fertile and when they were not. It's unfortunate now that our sisters in the university, and even those who are graduates, don't even know their fertility period, don't even know when they're supposed to be fertile or not. These things are not being taught in school. They are left ignorant so that they solve their problems with medication. So please, just sisters, don't fall to these things, okay? Don't fall to this kind of temptation. Stay clear of it, and make sure you keep yourself clean of this kind of pharmaceutical drugs. They are extremely dangerous for not only you, but for your future and for your generations to come. May the Most High bless you. Salam.